Welcome to the GameRamble video review for the Yawhg, narrated by me, Dark Cloud. As always, the full text version of this review can be found on the GameRamble website, linked below. The TLDR for the Yawhg is that we were surprised at how short a single playthrough of the game is, but with more than 50 endings, you'll definitely want to complete it more than once. The randomly generated story has a surprising amount of depth, and the gorgeous artwork by Emily Carroll is a definite plus. The Yawhg is best enjoyed with a group of other players, so if you're a solo player, the experience is just not the same. Gameplay receives a 7 out of 10. While the game is short and simple, it does have tons of replay value. Graphics receives a 7 out of 10. The visuals are great, and Emily Carroll provides a signature artwork for the game. Sound receives a 7 out of 10. The game features a moody soundtrack that adds to the ominous vibe. The overall score for the Yawhg is 7 out of 10. And now for the full review. We're not quite sure what a Yawhg is, but according to the indie title by Damien Summer and Emily Carroll, it is something terrifying. The game throws you into a situation where the arrival of the Yawhg is imminent, but your characters are blissfully unaware of the impending doom. It all boils down to a type of choose-your-own-adventure game that lasts only 6 turns. Each turn is a week in-game time, and you can choose which of the 8 locations you want to visit. Each location only offers a choice between 2 activities, but the outcomes depend on your stats. As the characters have no idea what will transpire, all their options consist of everyday activities such as hunting, chopping wood, landscaping, or boozing it up in the tavern. Depending on what transpires, your character may gain or lose points in stats such as physique, charm, and wealth. The stat points also influences the outcome of certain choices, so a character with high magic might be able to zap a ghost out of existence, while everyone else will just have to put up with it. The game consists of only 6 turns, so it can basically be completed in less time than it takes to read this review. Usually short games raises questions about value for money, but the Yawhg does have randomization in its favor. Because the game is so short, it's perfect for playing with a group of friends who might otherwise have no interest in gaming. The charming artwork by Emily Carroll will help draw players into the fantasy world of the Yawhg, and the whole experience will be over before anyone has a chance to become bored. As there are more than 50 unique endings, the replay value is also relatively high, although we did encounter a lot of repeats during our time with the game. The Yawhg has quite an ominous vibe, but there's also a surprising amount of humor. Most of the outcomes of your choices are pretty funny, which makes playing in the group so much fun. It's hard not to laugh as your character gets a ton of stat points for doing something, while your friend might end up with a character afflicted with all kinds of misery. While technically you can win or lose the game, the focus is more on all the randomized events and how outcomes affect the game world. You can play the game alone provided you take charge of 2 characters, but as mentioned earlier, it improves immeasurably when enjoyed with a group. There are 4 different characters to choose from, and although there are no animations, the artwork is very good. If you're not familiar with the illustrations and comics by Emily Carroll, we strongly suggest you check out her website, with his face all red being our favorite. The game doesn't discriminate, so the burly bearded character is just as welcome to attend a ball at the palace as anyone else, and has a nice picture to depict his act. The soundtrack is also very good, but you must read all the text yourself as there is no speech. Despite how short the game is, we had a lot of fun with the Yawhg and can definitely recommend it if you regularly have friends over. Everyone can jump in and have fun because there's no need to explain what stuff like mana and hit points are. If you play on your own, there's still fun to be had, but it's not quite the same. It will take a while to discover all the endings, and despite some repetition, we did discover something new during every playthrough. If you can appreciate a game that dares to be different and don't have a problem spending most of your playtime reading, you should try the Yawhg. If you measure the value of a game based on its length instead of how entertaining it actually is, you might as well watch a YouTube video instead. The Yawhg is not the type of game that you can play through once and then never again. Instead, return to it now and then to see what other mysteries it has to uncover. Thanks for joining me for the Yawhg PC review. Remember to like, subscribe and share. Until next time.